My parents sent my kids to the basement because of my brother's baby. By Christmas, they begged at our door. I shut it without a word. It's bad when parents say you're not good enough. It's worse when they treat your kids like they don't count. If you're watching this, where are you from? That betrayal came out of nowhere and almost broke us. I'm Jessie, 46 years old. 2 years ago, my world fell apart. My husband Victor and I divorced after 13 years. I felt destroyed inside. My money was a mess. I raised our twins, Oliver and Camellia, now 11. I worked part-time as a pediatric nurse while supporting Victor, a software engineer. After the divorce, I faced supporting us alone. It meant shared custody, little alimony, and more troubles. That's when my parents, Gloria and Carlos, stepped in. "Just until you're steady," Dad said, patting my shoulder. I whispered, "Thank you." Our relationship was always complicated. My brother Justin was the perfect kid who followed rules. I was the responsible one. I loved kids, so I paid for 8 years of nursing school myself. My path was simple but steady. Justin, at 33, earned big money. He dropped college to start a tech business my parents funded. The favoritism was so normal I barely noticed. My twins, Oliver and Camellia, were amazing. Oliver led as the artist and builder with a kind heart. Camellia was my bold athlete, confident, always standing up for what's right. They did well despite the divorce mess and move. First, living with my parents felt okay. They made their office a room for the twins. I got the guest room. I handled most cooking, groceries, and keeping kids in line. My parents did school runs. They had long shifts, sometimes nights, at the children's hospital. The plan was simple: save for a year to cover deposit and first rent. I saved hard, took extra shifts, pinched pennies. Costs were high, but I wanted stability for my kids. Then Justin and Rachel had Noah. Everything shifted. My parents always favored Justin, but their reaction to his baby was extreme. They had a big 4-bedroom house nearby. Till they made a nursery from their dining room and splurged on baby stuff used rarely. Mom started ditching help for my kids. "Your brother needs us more. He's new at this," she'd say. She missed the irony. I'd been a single mom for 3 years. I tried understanding at first. A new grandson was exciting. Oliver and Camellia had been their only grandkids for 10 years. Maybe it was just the newness. Favoritism started small but grew. I told my kids to wait. Noah needed extra care. Noah's Christmas gifts cost more. Comments on how he looked like Justin as a baby. My kids? More like their dad. Small stuff, but it stung. I compensated with our time. On off days, we'd watch movies in my room or go to the park. I even made a savings chart in my bathroom. "A few more months," I promised. Our own home by Christmas. But tension rose as spring turned to summer. Parents nitpicked my parenting: food, bedtime, screen time. They'd be late or cancel dinners. Justin and Rachel? Flawless. I juggled peace at home and shielding my kids from the unequal treatment. I needed their help. Saving or not, childcare was too expensive. By summer's end, I'd saved a lot. I'd have enough for a small 2-bedroom by November. 3 more months, I told myself. Bite my tongue, remind kids we're guests. 3 months of watching parents praise Noah, ignore my kids' wins. I never guessed it'd get so bad before then. In September, it worsened. Justin called a family meeting. Noah sat at the kitchen table with them, his outfit pricier than my food budget. Just denied our parents, not me. "We're starting that big house renovation." Mom fist-pumped in joy. Rachel bounced Noah. "Great, honey." Dad nodded fast before I processed. "We'll need a place during construction. 7 to 9 weeks. Stay here, of course. Plenty of room." I choked on my drink when my mom glanced at me and said, "We're already cramped with 5 of us, Jessie." Family helps family. It's just temporary. That was it, the decision was final. My feelings didn't matter. No one considered how this would affect Oliver and Camellia. They forgot they'd told me our stay was temporary too, even though it was nearing 2 years. The next weekend, Justin and Rachel moved in. My dad helped set up Noah's cot but didn't offer to fix the twins' beds. Rachel's things filled an entire closet, while I was stuck living out of suitcases for months until I got a small dresser. Suddenly, everything changed. Someone snapped at Oliver and Camellia to hush because Noah was napping. Their toys, once tucked away, were now labeled useless and shoved into storage bins. Kids used to get an hour of TV after school, but now Rachel's shows were always on. After a grueling shift, I came home to find Camellia on the back porch, tears in her eyes. I sat beside her and asked, "What's wrong, honey?" "Grandma said I was too loud jumping rope," she said, frustrated. Noah wasn't even asleep. He was with Aunt Rachel. She just didn't like me counting my jumps. That week, Oliver was thrilled about an art project, chosen to represent his class in a district display. My mom brushed him off as he tried to share, saying, "Not now, Oliver. I'm helping Rachel pick curtains." I watched his face flush with hurt. That night, after the kids were in bed, I tried talking to my parents. "I get that Justin's family needs help," I said carefully, "but I'm worried about how Oliver and Camellia are being treated. They feel invisible." My dad frowned. "They're too sensitive. Babies need more attention. Noah's not even here most of the day." I pushed back. "Justin takes him to daycare and Rachel picks him up. My kids aren't asking for attention during those hours." My mom sighed deeply. "You've always been jealous of Justin, Jessie. I thought you'd outgrown that." I went quiet, stunned. Did they really see me as a jealous sister, not a caring mom? Things only got worse. Without asking, Rachel rearranged my kitchen tools, criticized the twins' healthy meals, and hogged the washer for days. Justin invited friends over for watch parties, acting like he owned the place, never checking if we had plans. One night, I overheard my dad and Justin talking about money. Justin said the house renovation was delayed due to foundation issues. My dad said warmly, "Stay as long as you need. This is your home too." I'd never heard those words, despite paying bills and handling most cooking and cleaning. Instead, they kept reminding me their help was temporary and conditional. At a Sunday dinner in early November, my mom made Justin's favorite foods, which my kids didn't like. Oliver politely asked for something else, but my mom snapped. "When I was a kid, we ate what we got." Yet when Noah threw his plate on the floor, everyone laughed. Rachel shrugged, "He's just exploring." She barely cleaned up the mess. Oliver, usually so polite, whispered to me, "Why can Noah throw food, but I can't ask for a sandwich?" I didn't have a good answer. That week, I noticed the twins' artwork was gone from the fridge, replaced by Noah's daycare schedule. When I asked, Rachel said she needed the schedule visible and thought no one would mind. The twins stopped playing in the living room or anywhere else in the house. They hid in their tiny shared bedroom, the only place they felt some control. I started taking them to the library after school for a quiet escape. During a tough shift, my coworker Julia noticed my stress. "Is everything okay at home?" she asked. I poured out everything. "Your parents treat Justin's family like royalty and you and your kids like unwanted guests," Julia said kindly. "That's not healthy for any of you." Her words hit hard. She was right. I hadn't realized how toxic the situation was until she said it out loud. That night, instead of going home, I called a real estate agent friend. "I need to get my kids out of this," I told her. By mid-November, things at home spiraled faster than I expected. My parents fully backed Justin and Rachel's takeover of the house. Justin kept dodging questions about why their 6 to 8 week renovation was dragging on indefinitely. One day, I found a box in the recycling showing my parents spent $450 on a fancy high chair for Noah. Meanwhile, they grumbled about the cost of Oliver's asthma medication, which my insurance only partly covered. We want Noah to be comfortable eating here, my mom said. Oliver needs to breathe, I shot back, my voice sharp, feeling like I was the unreasonable one. My mom gave me that look. Your dad and I are on a fixed income, Jessie. We can't pay for everything for your kids. Stung that they ignored how I covered all my kids' expenses and helped with household bills, while Justin and Rachel were doing just fine financially. One day, Camellia was practicing her clarinet for band class, full of focus. Just 15 minutes in, Rachel stormed in. Can you stop? Noah's napping and I have a work call soon. Camellia apologized, put her clarinet away, and later cried to me. She'd been practicing for a virtual session and now wouldn't be ready for her review. I tried talking to Rachel, suggesting we set a practice schedule. She brushed me off, saying her calls and Noah's naps came first. Camellia can practice her little hobby anytime. I bit my tongue to keep from snapping. Camellia's band teacher had praised her talent and she loved playing. In that house, Justin's family's smallest needs trumped everything my kids did. Oliver was struggling too. His teacher emailed me, worried about his low participation and dropping grades. My once lively boy had become quiet and anxious. When I asked why, he said, I'm scared of messing up at home. That's why I can't sleep. Grandma and Grandpa get mad at us for everything, he added, but never at Noah, Uncle Justin, or Aunt Rachel. To save for our escape and ease the tension, I picked up extra shifts. Justin and Rachel seemed glad I was gone, but my parents thought I was shirking family duties. Thanksgiving, things got tense with relatives around. My Aunt Margaret, always supportive, joined us for the meal. During dinner, my mom gushed about 9-month-old Noah, saying he was already trying to stand. Justin was an early walker too, she said. Some kids just have natural athletic ability. Then she turned to Oliver. It's a shame you didn't get that from your dad. Victor was always athletic, wasn't he? I saw Oliver's face fall, but he held it together. Her words implied Noah's talents came from Justin's superior genes, while my kids' strengths were either from their dad or despite me. Aunt Margaret's concerned look caught my eye across the table. After dinner, she pulled me aside and whispered, How long has this been going on? It's always been like this to some extent, I said, but it's worse since Justin's family moved in. This isn't good for your kids, Jessie, she said, echoing Julia. They deserve better than being second class in their own family. Tears welled up, but I nodded. I'm working on it, I told her. I was. After talking with Julia, I'd been meeting my real estate friend during lunch breaks. I found a cozy 3-bedroom house 10 minutes from the hospital, still in the Twin School District. With my solid credit and steady job, I got approved even though the rent stretched my budget. I hadn't told Oliver and Camellia about signing the lease the week before. I didn't want to get their hopes up until everything was set. In just 1 week, on November 1st, we could move in. I'd secretly arranged utilities and furniture deliveries for that day. Aunt Margaret squeezed my hand. I'm here if you need me, she said. Her words hit deep more than she knew. I'd been questioning myself, wondering if I was too sensitive or jealous, as my parents claimed. Her validation gave me the final push I needed to know this situation was truly wrong. The next morning, I overheard my dad and Justin planning long-term. The contractor says it could be another 3 months, Justin said. With the baby, it might make sense to stay through the holidays, he added. My dad replied warmly, You're always welcome. This is your home. They told me my stay was temporary and I needed to move out soon. I wondered if they even remembered saying my stay was temporary. The hypocrisy might have been funny if it weren't breaking my kids' hearts. That night, I skipped our usual routine and took the twins out for ice cream. Getting out of that tense house let me focus on them. I looked at them and said, I need you to know something. No matter what Grandma and Grandpa say or do, you're incredible and valued. Their treatment isn't because of anything you've done wrong, I added. Camellia studied my face and asked, Are we moving out soon? Her question caught me off guard. Why do you ask? "You've been working extra shifts," she said. "And you seem different, less sad, more determined." My little girl saw the change in me before I did. "Just keep being yourselves a bit longer," I said, not ready to reveal my plan. "Can you do that for me?" Their nods carried a spark of hope I hadn't seen in too long. When we got home, Noah's stroller, diaper bag, and toys cluttered the house, but Rachel fussed about the twins' backpacks in the hall. "Kids need to clean up after themselves," she said, like I was a rookie parent. I helped the twins move their things, forcing a smile, knowing we wouldn't endure this much longer. But things spiraled faster than I expected. The next Tuesday, I had a 12-hour shift. Pediatric unit was chaotic. During a quick lunch break, I checked my phone and saw frantic texts from Oliver and Camellia. Oliver wrote, "Mom, something's wrong. Grandpa and Uncle Justin are moving our stuff." Camellia texted, "Grandma says we have to move to the basement. It's not fair." Oliver added, "Mom, please come home. They took everything downstairs." Camelia's message broke my heart. "I hate it here. The basement's cold, gross, and has spiders." My heart pounded. I called home, no answer. I tried the kids' phones, still no response. I texted Camellia, "I'll be home soon. Stay calm. I love you both." I told my supervisor about the family emergency. She was kind, arranging coverage for the 4 hours I needed. But I had to finish critical paperwork and patient handoffs, delaying me another hour. The 20-minute drive home felt like forever. I was in a daze. Had my parents really moved my kids to the damp, unfinished basement with leaking walls? I took a deep breath in the driveway, trying to stay calm. Walking in confirmed my fears. Oliver and Camellia sat on the couch, eyes red from crying. In the kitchen, Rachel and my mom sipped tea like nothing was wrong. Justin and my dad were nowhere to be found. "What's going on?" I asked, rushing to my kids. Camellia jumped up, hugging me tightly. "They moved our stuff to the basement without asking. They said we don't deserve the nice rooms," she added. Oliver nodded grimly. "Grandpa said Uncle Justin's family needs more space because they're more important." Anger surged, but I stayed calm for them, hugging them close. "Let me talk to Grandma and figure this out," I said. My mom barely looked up from her kitchen tasks. "You're home early," she said. "Why are my kids' things in the basement?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. Rachel sipped her tea. "We had to adjust. Justin and I need a nursery for Noah and a home office since I'm working remotely." "So you moved Oliver and Camellia to the basement without asking me?" I said, my voice low. My mom finally met my eyes. It made sense. They're older and can handle it better than a baby. "Our other grandson deserves the best rooms," she added. "He's here all day while your kids are at school." Her casual cruelty shocked me. My kids deserve a safe, comfortable space just as much as Noah. "Don't be dramatic, Jessie," my mom said. "The basement's fine. We put their beds down there." "The basement has mold, gets freezing at night, and the ceiling's unfinished," I said. "There's only one tiny window that barely opens." "They'll manage," my mom insisted. "Family means making sacrifices." Her idea of sacrifice seemed to apply only to my kids, not Justin's. Just then, my dad and Justin walked in through the back door. My dad saw me and said, "Good, you're home. We've made some changes we need to talk about." I snapped back, "Yeah, I see that," keeping my tone steady. "You moved my kids' stuff to the basement without asking me." Justin just shrugged. "We need the space. Noah's moving more and needs room to grow. Rachel needs a quiet spot for work calls. My kids need a safe bedroom too," I said firmly. "The basement's okay," my dad replied, glancing away. I added some lights and carpet scraps. "They should be thankful they have a place." I stared at him, stunned, like I was seeing him anew. I tried for years to win my dad's approval, but he'd just shown how little he valued my family. Oliver has asthma, I reminded them. The basement's damp with mold. Could set off a serious attack. You're blowing this out of proportion, Justin said, annoyed. Kids bounce back. Rachel and I grew up in worse, he added. I knew Rachel grew up in a fancy 5-bedroom house, but she nodded along. I looked at the 4 adults who decided this. Not one showed guilt or understanding. To them it was fine. My kids could take the scraps while Justin's family got the best. I walked back to the living room where Oliver and Camellia waited, anxious. Their eyes were full of trust, believing I'd fix this. In that moment, I knew exactly what to do. Despite the wait, I gave a real smile and said, "Pack your bags." They looked confused, but I nodded encouragingly. "Trust me," I urged. "Grab what's most important. We'll get the rest later." My dad followed and overheard. "Don't be so dramatic, Jessie. No one's kicking you out." I turned with a calm smile. "No, Dad. You've made it clear where my kids and I stand. We deserve better." "What are you even saying?" he stammered as the twins watched, bewildered. "Keep packing," I whispered to them. "Take your favorite things. We'll come back tomorrow." My mom stormed in as they ran upstairs. "What's this nonsense? You can't leave just because things aren't perfect." Rachel and Justin followed, Noah on Justin's hip. The whole crew was ready for a fight. "It's not about perfection," I said evenly. "It's about respect, which we haven't gotten here." "We've given you a home for nearly 2 years," my dad said proudly. "How dare you talk about respect?" "Yes, and I'm grateful," I replied. "But I've paid bills, cooked, cleaned, and kept my kids respectful of your space. Today, you went too far." Rachel scoffed. "It's just a room change." "You're being ridiculous." I faced her. "Would you say that if someone moved Noah to an unsafe place without asking you?" She had no answer. My mom insisted the basement was fine. "We raised you and Justin without all these fancy kid needs." "There's mold down there," I repeated. Oliver's asthma could flare. It's cold, damp, with no proper exits. It's not even a legal bedroom. My dad waved it off. "Those housing codes are just government meddling." It was so absurd I nearly laughed. Safety rules were nonsense when they inconvenienced him. But I bet he'd care if he had to stay there. Justin smirked. "Where are you going? You haven't saved much with your spending habits." Their assumption stung. They saw me as broke and reckless. Despite my independence, they thought I was helpless. "You're wrong," I said calmly. "I've saved since moving in, worked extra shifts, built an emergency fund. 3 weeks ago, I signed a lease nearby." Their shocked silence felt good. My mom spoke first. "You were leaving without telling us?" she asked, her voice shaky with fake hurt. "I was going to give notice next week," I said. "The house opens November 1st, but today changed my timeline." "You're kidding," Justin said. "Where will you stay till then?" "That's not your business," I replied. Truth was, I'd already arranged to stay with Julia from work in her guest room for a few days. My dad's face twisted in anger. "After all we've done, this is how you repay us? Sneaking around and storming out over a small issue?" "Small issue," I said, shocked. "You moved my kids to an unsafe basement without asking. You told them they don't deserve the same comfort as their cousin. That's not small, Dad. It's a clear message about how you value us." Oliver and Camellia came downstairs, clutching backpacks and bags. Camellia gripped her clarinet case, while Oliver held his art supplies and the plush dragon he'd loved since he was 3. "We're ready, Mom," Camellia said, her voice strong with a fire I hadn't heard in weeks. "This is insane," my mom said. "You're not really leaving now." "Yes, we are," I confirmed. "We'll come back tomorrow for the rest when things are calmer." "You won't be welcomed back if you leave," my dad warned. I met his gaze sadly. I gave up expecting that a long time ago, Dad. Justin suddenly realized what was happening. Come on, sis, let's be rational. No need for a scene in front of the kids. My kids already know where they stand in this family, I told him. There's nothing more to talk about tonight. From the porch, my family watched, some angry, some confused, as I helped Oliver and Camellia load their things into the car. They couldn't handle my leaving, they were so sure I depended on them. As I started the car, my mom ran to my window. Jessie, please, you're overreacting. Come back and we'll figure it out. We'll talk tomorrow, I said firmly. Less angry now, she asked. But where are you going? Somewhere my kids are valued, I answered simply, then drove away. In the rearview mirror, Oliver and Camellia stared back at the house we'd called home for nearly 2 years. Instead of sadness, I felt relief. Are we really getting our own house? Oliver asked, his voice hopeful. Almost, I said. We have a place waiting, but we can't move in until next week. Tonight, we're staying with my friend Julia from work, I added. Camellia asked, Is it because of what Grandma and Grandpa did? I chose my words carefully. It's because we deserve a home where everyone's treated with kindness and respect. I've been planning our move for a while, but today showed me we needed to leave now. Oliver said quietly. I didn't like how they talked about us, like we didn't matter. His words broke my heart. You two are everything, I told them. Anyone who can't see that doesn't deserve you in their lives. Julia was so kind when we got to her place. She'd set up a guest room with a queen bed for me and an air mattress for the twins. She even rented a movie and got ice cream for us to share. As the twins settled in, eating ice cream with quiet excitement, Julia pulled me aside. I'm proud of you, she said simply. It takes guts to set boundaries with family. I wish I'd done it sooner, I admitted, before they hurt my kids like this. You're doing it now, she said. That's what counts. That night, in a strange room with Oliver and Camellia asleep beside me, I felt a whirlwind of emotions. I was sad for what could have been, angry at how we were treated, and nervous about the future. But deep down, I felt a calm I hadn't known in years. After so much doubt, I'd finally stood up for my family. Tomorrow would bring challenges, getting our things, facing emotional manipulation, and finalizing our new home's paperwork. But watching my kids sleep peacefully, I knew I'd made the right call. That night, our chains were finally breaking. The next morning, my sick day request was approved at work. I declined Julia's offer to watch the twins. They need to see this through, I said. It matters that they know we're doing this together. We arrived at my parents' house around 10 a.m., knowing everyone would be there. My dad's scowl softened slightly when he saw the twins at the door. Here to apologize for your tantrum? He asked me. No, I said flatly. We're here to get our things. He froze. Your mom's been upset all night over your dramatic exit, he said. I'm sorry she's upset, I replied, meaning it. I meant every word. I never wanted to hurt my parents, not even now. But my kids' safety came first. We're still moving out, I said. My dad stepped aside, reluctant. In the living room, my mom sat, her eyes red from crying or lack of sleep. Where are Justin and Rachel? I asked. They took Noah to the park, she said. They thought it'd be less tense if they weren't here while you packed. At least they'd shown some consideration. I turned to Oliver and Camellia. Go to your rooms. Remember what we talked about? Pack what you love. We can replace the rest. As they headed upstairs, my mom looked at me. I can't believe you're doing this to us. I'm not hurting you, I said firmly. I'm doing this for me and my kids. You've had everything, she insisted. A place to stay, help with the kids, support during your divorce. I'm grateful, I said. But that doesn't mean my kids should be treated as less than Noah. We never said that, she shot back. You didn't need to, I replied. Your actions said it all. My dad started pacing. This is about Justin, isn't it? You're jealous of him. I shook my head. This isn't about Justin. It's about moving Oliver and Camellia to an unsafe basement without asking me. It's about saying Noah deserves better rooms just because he's Justin's son. My mom accused me of twisting her words. Am I? I asked. You said, our other grandson deserves the best rooms. What did that mean if not that my kids deserve less? She went quiet. I followed the twins upstairs to help them pack. 2 big suitcases could hold most of their clothes. Oliver carefully packed his science kit birthday gift and favorite books. Camellia grabbed her athletic gear and the jewelry box her dad gave her. When we came downstairs with the first load, my dad was at the door. Where are you even going? He demanded. This mystery house you say you rented? We're staying with a friend until our place is ready next week, I said. I didn't know him details, but he pressed, How will you pay rent on a nurse's salary? His tone dripped with sarcasm. His words stung, and I set down the bags to face him. Dad, I earn $70,000 a year as a pediatric nurse, I said. I have great credit, low debt, and I've saved for 2 years. I can take care of my family without you. He looked stunned. It hit me. He had no idea about my finances. He assumed I was struggling because it fit his view of me. Rent's high and hard to find, my mom chimed in. How did you get a place? I've been looking for months, I said. I have friends and contacts. Just because I didn't share my plans doesn't mean I didn't have them. Took several trips to load the car. My parents watched in silence as our leaving sank in. I did one final walkthrough after we got everything. In the kitchen, my mom poured coffee, her movements stiff. Let's go, I told her. Tears filled her eyes. I don't get why you're doing this. We're family. We are, I said. That's why this hurts so much. Family should feel valued and respected. Oliver and Camellia haven't felt that here in a long time. That's not true, she said weakly. Mom, yesterday you told them they don't deserve the same as their cousin. How do you think that felt? She looked away. We didn't mean it like that. Then how did you mean it? I asked. She had no answer. Right before we left, my dad tried again. This is a mistake, Jessie. Your pride's getting in the way of what's best for your kids. No, Dad, I said. For once, I'm putting my kids first, above everything, even your approval. Saying goodbye to their grandparents was tense for Oliver and Camellia. They'd been taught to love these people who'd hurt them so carelessly, and it showed in their conflicted faces. As we drove away, Camellia asked, Will we see Grandma and Grandpa again? Yes, I said, but it'll be different. We'll visit on our terms when we're treated with respect. Days later, Julia's house was peaceful. The twins' laughter and playfulness brought a lightness I hadn't seen in months. I met the landlord to get the keys early, letting us move in before the official date. I took a day off to finalize our new house details. With 3 bedrooms, a small backyard, and a bright kitchen, it was perfect for us. Close to the hospital, it cut my commute, and it was in the twin school district, so they wouldn't need to switch schools. We moved our things in on Friday. Julia and some coworkers helped, turning a tense day into a celebration. By evening, the kitchen was set, beds were made, and the living room had plenty of seating. After pizza and bedtime, I sat alone in my new living room, letting myself cry. Not from sadness, but from relief and bittersweet pride. My parents' messages buzzed all day, angry demands, then pleas to return. I replied once, saying we were okay and I'd talk when I was ready. The next Monday, my parents showed up unannounced at our new place. I was getting ready for work after dropping the twins at school. How'd you find our address? I asked, reluctantly letting them in. Your Aunt Margaret told us, my dad admitted. She thought we should talk. I made coffee and watched them take in our cozy, simple home. It's smaller than I expected, my mom said. It's perfect for the 3 of us, I replied. "Come back home," my dad said bluntly. "This has gone on long enough." "This is our home now," I said firmly. My mom insisted. "Grandkids need their grandparents, their uncle, their cousin. They need respect and love," I countered. "When you can give that consistently, you're welcome in their lives." "We've always loved them," my mom protested. "Love isn't just a feeling," I said. "It's how you treat people. It's the choices that show what you value." They spent nearly an hour apologizing, pleading for family unity, and finally admitting, hesitantly, that they'd been insensitive. "We didn't see how it looked to you," my dad said. "We thought we were just helping Justin and Rachel." "I get that," I said. "But you did it at the cost of my kids' well-being and safety. I can't ignore that." We reached a shaky understanding before they left. They agreed to respect our new life and invited us for Sunday dinner in 2 weeks. It was a small step, but a step forward. Over the next few weeks, word of our move spread through the family. Most supported us, having seen the favoritism themselves. Aunt Margaret especially became a regular visitor, bringing cookies and truly caring about the twins' lives. At work, I got a surprise promotion to charge nurse with better pay and hours. Fewer night shifts meant more time with Oliver and Camellia. I heard through the family that Justin and Rachel were struggling without my help with childcare and housework. My mom, now in her 60s, was worn out managing an active baby and the house alone. That Sunday dinner 2 weeks later, the mood was tense but civil. Justin and Rachel seemed humbled, realizing how much I'd eased their lives before. Their arrogance had faded. Most importantly, Oliver and Camellia were happier than they'd been in ages. Oliver's teacher noted he was more focused and engaged, and Camellia thrived in her clarinet lessons, practicing daily without interruptions or criticism. One night, as I tucked Camellia in, she yawned, "I like our house, Mom. I feel like I can breathe here," she added. Her simple words meant more than any praise I could have gotten. All our struggles were worth it. We'd built a home where my kids could thrive, physically and emotionally. 6 months after our sudden move, our lives had transformed. Our rented house became a true home, filled with laughter, fridge artwork, and the joyful mess of family life. Oliver and Camellia were thriving, their confidence back in a place where they felt valued. My promotion to charge nurse brought a better salary, steadier hours, and new challenges that enriched my career. For the first time as an adult, I felt like I was thriving, not just getting by. My parents and I settled into a cautious but friendly relationship. Monthly Sunday dinners became a routine with clear boundaries, mostly respected. My dad still struggled to see his role, but my mom started to notice the family's favoritism. During a rare solo visit to our home, she said, "I've been thinking about last fall. I didn't realize how much we hurt Oliver and Camellia," she admitted. "What changed your mind?" I asked, curious about her shift. She sighed, looking older. "After you left, everything changed. Justin and Rachel stayed another month, but without you, I was overwhelmed with the house and Noah. I saw how much you did, how I took you for granted," she added. It was the closest thing to an apology I'd gotten, and I accepted it. She continued, "Justin and Rachel fought constantly about childcare, the endless renovation money. They moved back to their house before Christmas, even though it wasn't done. I wasn't surprised. Without my parents' endless support and my help, their cracks widened. Out of politeness, I asked, 'How are they now?' Though I wasn't too worried. 'They're in couples counseling,' my mom said. 'Your dad thinks it's silly, but I think it might help. Rachel's back at work full-time and they're struggling with childcare,' she added. Despite everything, I felt a twinge of sympathy and nodded. Their relationship always seemed shaky, and parenting isn't easy. But my kids changed the most. Oliver's anxiety faded, his creativity shining again in an after-school art program where a kind teacher nurtured his talent. Camellia joined the soccer team in spring and earned a spot in the school's advanced band. One night, as we worked on a puzzle, a new tradition in our home, Camellia asked, "Mom, why did Grandma and Grandpa treat us differently than Noah?" I thought carefully before answering. Sometimes people have set ideas about others that cloud their judgment, I said. Grandma and Grandpa saw Uncle Justin as special, and when Noah came, they gave him that same focus. Oliver chimed in, but there are grandparents too. Exactly, I said. They love you, but they didn't show it fairly. So that's why we left? Camellia asked. Because they weren't fair? We left to find a place where we're all treated with respect and kindness, I explained. When that wasn't happening, we made a home where we could thrive. Oliver nodded slowly. I like it better here. At their house, I always felt in the way. You're never in the way here, I assured him. This is your home and you belong exactly as you are. In June, an opportunity came up. Thanks to my promotion and careful saving, I found a modest 3-bedroom house in our area, priced just right. I consulted a mortgage broker, reviewed my finances, and put in a bid. To my surprise, it was accepted. Leaving my parents' house, I dreamed of owning a home one day. Now, after a year and a half, it was happening, though the house needed some cosmetic fixes. It had a great location and solid bones. Most importantly, it would be ours. The twins were thrilled when I told them. They buzzed with ideas for their rooms, the front door, and a small backyard garden. Can we get a dog when we move in? Oliver asked, hopeful. We'll see, I said, warming to the idea but not committing yet. A dog could be the perfect addition to our little family. Buying the house unexpectedly brought my dad back into our lives. Despite our tense relationship, my dad offered to review the house inspection report with me, sharing his home buying expertise. We sat at my kitchen table, going over the papers. The roof's got about 5 years left, he said, but plan to replace the water heater soon. His advice was practical, and I appreciated that he wasn't judging or controlling my decisions. Something shifted slightly between us. Before leaving, he said, I'm proud of you, Jessie. Buying a house alone is a big deal. His words caught me off guard. I'd waited years to hear them. Thank you, Dad, I managed to say. He hesitated, then added, I know I haven't always been fair. Your mom and I have talked a lot about how we handled things, he said. I can't undo the past, but I want to do better. It wasn't a full apology, but for my stubborn dad, it was huge. I nodded. I'd like that. On closing day, Oliver and Camellia were at school. I signed the papers alone but snapped a photo of the keys to show them later. Standing in our empty new living room, I cried. 2 years ago, I was a divorced mom with no clear path, leaning on my parents' conditional help. Now I'd earned a promotion, bought a home, and given my kids the loving space they deserved. The journey to this moment was a crucible, one that forced me to confront uncomfortable truths about my family and myself. For years, I'd clung to the hope that I could win my parents' approval, that I could prove my worth by being the dutiful daughter, the responsible single mom who never complained. But the events of last fall, when my parents moved Oliver and Camellia to the basement to make room for my brother's family, shattered that illusion. I saw how deeply their favoritism ran, how it diminished my children's value in their eyes. Facing that reality hurt, but it also set me free. I learned that protecting my kids sometimes meant walking away from toxic spaces, even if those spaces were family. Setting boundaries wasn't a sign of weakness, as I'd once feared. It was strength. It was claiming my right to a life where my children and I weren't afterthoughts. Most importantly, I realized my worth didn't hinge on my parents' validation or anyone else's. It came from within, from the choices I made to prioritize my family's well-being. That June Saturday, as we moved into our new home, felt like a celebration of that newfound strength. The sun was high, casting a warm glow over our modest 3-bedroom house. Friends, co-workers, and even my parents showed up to help. The air buzzed with energy as we hauled boxes, arranged furniture, and laughed over small mishaps, like when Julia nearly toppled a lamp trying to carry too many boxes at once. Twins darted around, their excitement infectious as they claimed their rooms and debated where to hang their artwork. We ordered pizza for everyone, and the living room filled with chatter and the clink of soda cans. It wasn't just a move, it was a declaration. This house, with its cozy backyard and sunlit kitchen, was ours, a place where Oliver and Camellia could be themselves without fear of being sidelined. As the day wound down, the helpers trickled out, leaving just my parents and me on the back porch. Twins played in the yard, their laughter echoing as they chased each other through the grass. Oliver, with his boundless creativity, was already sketching plans for a garden, while Camellia practiced soccer kicks against the fence. The scene felt so right, so full of life. My mom, sitting beside me, broke the quiet. "This is a good home, Jessie," she said softly. "You've done well." Her words hit me deeply. For so long, I'd craved her acknowledgement, but this time I didn't need it to feel complete. Till I appreciated it. "Thank you," I said, letting the moment settle without reservation. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, I reflected on the path that brought us here. That November day, when my parents declared Noah deserved better than my kids, had been a knife to the heart. The betrayal stung, not just for me but for Oliver and Camellia, who felt their worth questioned by the people who should have cherished them most. Yet that pain became the spark for something better. Pushed me to act, to break free from a home where we were tolerated but not valued. Sometimes the deepest wounds lead to the most necessary escapes. Leaving my parents' house wasn't the end of our story. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one we were writing on our own terms. That move gave me a renewed sense of self-respect. I'd worked hard, saving every penny from my nursing job, taking extra shifts, and quietly planning our escape. I'd proven I could provide for those I loved, not just financially but emotionally, giving my kids a home where they felt safe and seen. More than that, it was a chance to teach Oliver and Camellia a vital lesson. Standing up for what's right, even when it's hard, is worth it. They saw me choose their dignity over family expectations, and I hoped that would stay with them, shaping how they navigate their own lives someday. Family, I realized, isn't just about blood or obligation. It's about choice, choosing to value people for who they are, not what you want them to be. It's about consistent kindness, respect, and showing up in ways that lift others up. My parents' favoritism had clouded their ability to do that, but I could build something different. With friends like Julia, who offered her guest room and unwavering support, and family like Aunt Margaret, who brought cookies and genuine care, we created a new kind of family, one rooted in mutual respect. Oliver and Camellia were surrounded by people who saw their worth, from their teachers to their soccer coaches to the neighbors who waved as we unpacked. This was the family we chose, and it felt stronger than anything I'd known before. That night, as I tucked the twins into their own bedrooms, each with their own space for the first time in years, a profound calm washed over me. Oliver's room was already cluttered with art supplies, his plush dragon perched proudly on his bed. Camellia's clarinet case sat by her desk, her soccer gear neatly stacked in the corner. They were home, truly home, in a place where they could breathe freely, physically and emotionally. We'd weathered a storm of betrayal, doubt, and uncertainty, but we'd come through it. We'd found solid ground. The months that followed only deepened that sense of peace. Our little house became a haven, filled with the twins' laughter, their artwork on every wall, and the smell of my attempts at new recipes, some more successful than others. Oliver's confidence grew as he thrived in his after-school art program, his sketches turning into vibrant paintings that earned praise from his teacher. Camellia shone on the soccer field and in band, her clarinet notes floating through the house without fear of interruption. My promotion to charge nurse brought not just financial stability but a sense of purpose, as I mentored younger nurses and cared for my patients with renewed energy. I wasn't just surviving anymore, I was building a life I was proud of. My relationship with my parents evolved too, though it wasn't perfect. The Sunday dinners we'd agreed to became a testing ground for new boundaries. My mom began to see the favoritism she'd enabled, especially after Justin and Rachel moved out, leaving her overwhelmed without my help. During one of her visits, she admitted, "I didn't realize how much you were carrying, Jessie." "I'm sorry. It wasn't a full reckoning, but it was a start." My dad, stubborn as ever, struggled to fully grasp his role, but his help with the house inspection and his quiet "I'm proud of you" showed he was trying. Those moments, however small, gave me hope we could rebuild something better, on terms that respected us all. One evening, as we sat at our puzzle table, a tradition that grounded us, Camellia asked, "Mom, do you think Grandma and Grandpa will ever treat us the same as Noah?" Her question was heavy, but her tone was curious, not bitter. I took a breath, choosing my words carefully. "I think they're learning," I said. "They love you, but sometimes people's biases blind them. What matters is that you know your worth, and you're in a home now where you're always valued." Oliver nodded, adding, "I like it here. I don't feel like I'm in the way." His words sealed it. We'd made the right choice. When I placed the bid for our house that June, I couldn't fathom how far we'd journeyed from that heart-wrenching November. Closing day arrived, and as I stood alone in the empty living room, keys clutched tightly, a profound relief washed over me. The weight of our struggles, my parents' betrayal in prioritizing my brother's family, relegating Oliver and Camellia to an unsafe basement, lifted like a fog clearing at dawn. That pain, once a sharp wound, had fueled a transformation. We'd turned betrayal into a fresh start, crafting a sanctuary where my twins could shine. I pictured their laughter echoing through these bare walls, their artwork turning blank spaces into vibrant expressions of who they are. Already, Oliver was sketching ideas for a mural in his room, while Camellia dreamed of setting up a soccer net in our modest backyard. Their chatter about adopting a dog warmed my heart. I was leaning toward yes, imagining a playful pup completing our little trio. This house was more than bricks and mortar. It was a testament to our resilience, a haven where we could grow without the shadow of being deemed less than. This journey taught me that courage is choosing what's right for those you love, even when it means defying expectations. Leaving my parents' house wasn't just an escape, it was a bold claim to our worth. Every box we unpacked, every meal we shared, felt like a triumph over doubt and dismissal. If this story stirred something in you, please subscribe for more real tales of family victories and give it a thumbs up if it hit home. Have you ever faced a gut-wrenching choice to protect someone dear? Perhaps you walked away from a toxic environment or stood up for someone whose voice was ignored. Drop your stories in the comments. I'm eager to read them. Never forget, standing up for the life you and your loved ones deserve is often the bravest act of all. Thank you for joining this journey with me.